Hi everybody, welcome to Stressless Mindfulness Meditation. My name is Cecilia Howard and I'm your host for this program. Today we're going to be doing something slightly different than we've been doing before. Actually, a lot different than we've been doing before. As opposed to sitting down in a seat, we're actually going to be doing some gentle stretching and some mindfulness meditation from a standing posture. Now, for those of you who are familiar with meditation or have listened to my introductory program, you probably have heard me say before, meditation can be done sitting, standing, walking, and lying down. So today's practice that we'll be doing from a standing posture. But a couple reminders. If movement is difficult for you, even something as simple as standing, because I realize some people may have issues in regard to their body that doesn't allow them to stand up, whether it's from surgery or whether you are bedridden or whether you're in a wheelchair. I don't want to discount this practice at all, and I want you to engage and join in. You can continue to stay seated, lying down, whatever you need to do. You can always picture what we're doing in your mind's eye, or you can do whatever movements you're able to do in a seated position. But all the rest of us who are able to stand, I'm going to ask you all to come to a standing position right now. Now, the other thing I want you to be aware of is your body is your own best judge. So if there's anything that feels uncomfortable to you in any way, shape, or form, I ask you not to do the movement. So for those of you who have issues with your upper back, your neck, or your shoulders, you may want to refrain from doing some of the positions that we do where I'll be having you lift your arms up, or in some cases we'll even be looking upward. So again, your body is your own best judge. You stay within your zone of comfort, and if you're able to stretch a little bit outside that comfort zone without causing any issues, that's wonderful. Shoes can be on or off. I typically wear my shoes because I wear orthotics. So unfortunately, the days of going barefoot on yoga mats or on carpets are long gone for me. So I have on sneakers right now and my orthotics are in them. I wear them all the time. So what I would encourage you to do is, if you are comfortable taking off the shoes, it does help to balance your posture, and it also helps you to feel more grounded. The last thing that I want to mention is, if you could try to do this without watching me. Now, I know that sounds absurd given the fact that the medium that we're doing this on is televised. So the program's being taped, which automatically indicates you want to watch what I'm doing. But I want to encourage you to trust your listening skills and your ability to maintain that mindfulness, that present moment awareness of what's happening as it's happening, without needing to always watch me. Nothing I do, and I mean this in all sincerity, nothing I do is going to be so difficult that you need to see what I'm doing. We're not going into pretzel postures. We're not going to put our bodies in positions that are so twisted that you need a map in order to figure out how to unravel us from those positions. This is simple stretching. Remember, mindfulness, present moment awareness of what we're doing while we're doing it. So if you can close those eyes, that would be great. If you have a chair nearby and you have any balance issues at any time when your eyes are closed, simply rest your hand on the chair, gently close your eyes, and continue to do any of the movement that we're doing, just using one arm or one leg, as opposed to having both arms be free. And you can do that at any time. So that's always there for you. And you could use a chair, you could use a table, you could use the edge of a counter, depending on where you're watching this program. So what we're going to do right now is separate our feet. Our feet are going to be about hip distance apart. So I want you to actually look down at your feet. We have a tendency, when we say hip distance, to put ourselves out wider than we are. So you want to create a sense of balance, and if you're too far out, you won't feel that. So I want your feet to be in line with your hips. So you just sort of look down and make sure the outer edge of your feet are relatively in line with your hips. And you can just do that by peeking down. Your knees are soft, and what that means is no locking of the knees. You don't want to create any added pressure on the knees. So you softly bend the knee joint. You just soften the knees. We're not coming down into a deep knee bend. You can see the difference with me coming down lower. We're just softening things. The spine is erect. The abdomen is soft. So we don't need to pull it in tightly. Remember, when we do our seated meditation, one of the first things I always tell people, soften the abdomen. So the abdomen is soft. The spine is erect. The chin is slightly down. So we don't want to be pointing the head down. This is pointing the head down. This is slightly down with the chin. And all that does is elongate our spine. So the chin is slightly pointing down. The hands are down at the sides. The arms are loose at the sides. You can even just give them a little wiggle or a shake to make sure you're not restricting them too much. Eyes are gently closed. So we're going to close our eyes gently right now. If you feel uncomfortable with the eyes closed, remember you can keep the eyes open and you can certainly watch me on the screen. It's not going to change your experience. But if you can close the eyes, it could deepen your ability to stay mindfully focused with this standing meditation that we'll be doing, this gentle stretching and standing meditation. So, settling in. We've already gone through the settlement of our body by naming the parts of the body that we wanted to settle into, being our feet flat on the floor, knees slightly bent, abdomen soft, shoulders soft, spine erect, arms down at the sides, hands loose and free and not tightly clasped, toes not gripping but nice and loose, eyes closed or open, and just breathing. And just a reminder to everybody that once in a while I will be opening my eyes, and that's only to take a look at the clock so I can stay on point with the time for this show. So I want you to become very aware of the weight of your body on your feet. I want you to feel, if you can, the weightedness of your body resting on your feet. Don't forget to breathe as we do this. The tendency when we stand up sometimes is to hold our breath and restrict. So remember to breathe. Now what I'd like you to do, we're going to have our weight shift over to the right side of our body so that we can feel the weightedness of our body on a single foot, on a single leg. So we're going to shift our weight over to the right side. Now what starts to happen when you do this, you may notice that your left heel comes slightly off the ground. Your left knee slightly bends because we've shifted the weight now over to the right side. So there's still some weight that you're balancing on your left leg, but most of the weight is on your right. And I want you to now feel into that subtle weight shift on the right side. I want you to feel the weight in the bottom of the foot. Then we're going to shift back to center. So we're going to come back to our original posture, remembering to keep our knees soft. And we're going to continue right on through to the left side now. So we're placing most of our weight on the bottom of our left foot. Our right heel comes slightly off the ground and our right knee bends slightly. Now most of our weight is centered over the left side of the body. And again, breathing and noticing what you feel with this weightedness on the left side. We're going to shift back to center, and we're going to do this one more time. We're going to gently shift our weight over to the right. Remember, this is slow, mindful movement. We're not moving quickly. So we shift the weight over to the right. The left knee might bend, the left heel may come off the ground. Most of the weight is centered over our right foot. And breathe. And notice. Notice the weightedness of the body on the right side. We're going to slowly shift to center, and we're going to just flow right over with our weight over to our left foot now. Our right heel comes slightly off the ground. Our right knee bends a little bit. Now most of our weight is centered on our left foot. And just notice, breathe, and notice what you feel in the bottom of your left foot. Then we're going to slowly shift back to center. So we're going to come back to that original posture. For those of you who have done yoga, this is a posture, believe it or not. What we're doing right now, when our feet are planted firmly on the ground, our knees are slightly bent, and we're balanced over our legs in that original posture that we did, this is called mountain pose. This is a standing, resting posture when you're doing movement, standing movement in yoga. It's a very life-affirming stance. Feeling rooted, feeling grounded, feeling this sense of uprightness, this sense of balance, feeling the strength, perhaps, of a mountain that resides within us. So feeling that strength, that ability to withstand all the weather and changing conditions that happen around us. Think of a mountain. Weather changes, weather patterns change, temperature changes. What you sense at the bottom is very different on the top. Even midway up the mountain, it changes, and it can change the whole way up and down. So when you hike a mountain, you often have to bring a lot of different clothing and things to allow for the fact that this changes, that weather changes, temperature changes. And your life is much like this. Think of all the things that happen in your life that spiral around you, that change, that happen. You can start off a day feeling one thing and it can quickly change. So feeling this strength and firmness of a mountain, able to withstand all that change that whirls around us. And this is a wonderful posture to do any time you would like. Remember, meditation can be done sitting, standing, walking, and lying down. Standing mountain pose, a beautiful posture to practice anytime. Morning, night, afternoon, standing meditation. So now what we're going to do is infuse just a little bit of gentle movement into what we're doing right now, so that you have an opportunity to bring your awareness into what we're doing as we're doing it. So I'd like everybody to slowly lift your arms up out at the side. You're going to let those arms lift up almost as though you're coming into a letter T position, or when you were a small child and you used to run around the house or outside doing an airplane. So your palms are facing down, the hands are up at your shoulder height, and then I want you to just slowly lower those arms back down. I want you to be aware of the movement in your arms as you do this. Remember to breathe bringing awareness to the movement in your body, in your arms, as you're letting your arms lift up and gently lower. So I want you to do that again. I want you to very slowly let those arms come up at the sides. Think about it as though you have two large helium balloons under your arms that are just helping your arms to lift up. So come to shoulder height, and this time, rather than lowering the arms, I want you to turn the palms up toward the ceiling. And if this feels comfortable for you, I want you to continue to lift those arms up overhead. So now the arms are straight up overhead. Palms are facing one another. Just breathe. And now slowly, 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 micro movements. And remembering to breathe, I want you to lower those arms. And this isn't a competition. This isn't about, am I down first? Are you down first? Is the person next to you up or down first? This is about you moving in your own pace, at your own pace, in your own way, bringing mindful attention to what you feel in those arms as you do this. Now I want to do this again, but I want to do it with less talking. So I won't be saying as much. I want you to feel into the posture. I'll be guiding the movement, but I want you to be the one to know when it's time to lower those arms and move at your own pace. So let's move together, lifting them. So we're going to let the arms lift up at the sides, palms down. When you come to shoulder height, I want you to raise the palms up toward the ceiling and then continue on up with the arms overhead. And when you're ready, you're going to lower your arms in your own time, noticing what you notice as you do it, and remembering to breathe. Take your time. Arrive when you're ready. Take a deep breath in and out. Maybe shake out the arms just a little bit. And just notice how your body feels, having done that little bit of gentle movement. Just noticing what you feel in the body. Now we're going to do this again. We're going to let our arms lift up out at the sides, slowly raising the arms up, palms down. When you come to shoulder height, turn the palms up toward the ceiling, continue on upward with those arms. And this time, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. And I want you to gaze up at your hands, and then you're gently going to raise each arm one at a time, wiggling your fingers as though you're trying to reach something on a shelf that's just beyond your grasp. You can't quite get it, but you're trying to stretch those fingers in the arms. So we're engaging the left side and the right side. Just a slow, gentle stretch to the upper arms. Then we're going to bring the head back to that neutral position with our eyes closed. And you're going to lower your arms. Lowering those arms, breathing and feeling and taking your time. Remember, this isn't about quickness. This is about noticing what muscles are engaged, what tendons are getting involved, Maybe even noticing some blood circulation, some heat rising in the body. It's amazing when you slow down like this, what you notice in the body. So we're going to do that one more time. We're going to lift those arms slowly up at the sides, palms down. When we come to shoulder height, we're going to lift the palms up toward the ceiling. Continue on upward with those hands overhead. And this time, we're going to keep the eyes closed. And if it's comfortable for you, I want you to clasp your hands over your head. And then I want you to point your index fingers up toward the ceiling. Almost like that little steeple position we used to make when we were kids. So it's pointed fingers. The two index fingers are touching. The rest of the fingers are folded together. Arms are overhead. Now I want you to release the hands, slowly lowering the arms. Breathing. Softening. Following. Noticing. And when your hands come back and your arms come back to that original posture, I want you to come back into that mountain pose and notice what you feel in your body having done that gentle movement. Some of us may have noticed our heart beating a little faster. We may notice a little perspiration in our armpits just from a tiny, tiny little bit of movement. Just bring awareness to what you're feeling. Now I'd like you to open your eyes, and we're going to do a very, very, very gentle twist with our upper body. So what I'd like you to do is put your hands on your hips, and I'd like you to just turn from your torso. So try not to move your legs, just turn from your waist over to your right shoulder. So you're twisting while you're still trying to keep your hips forward. And the hips have a tendency to kind of want to follow. So I don't mind if there's a little movement with the hips, but try to keep the hips stabilized as you turn your head over your right shoulder. And then bring your head back to center. And then we're going to do that over our left shoulder. We're going to look over our left shoulder while we keep our hips facing forward. And then we're going to come back to center. Now I want you to do that again. I want you to turn gently over to the right shoulder. And this time I want you to get your eyes involved. I want you to look over your right shoulder as far as you can, almost as though you could see right behind you with your eyes. Let's get the eyes involved a little bit. Breathe. Come back to center. And we're going to do the same thing over the left shoulder. You're going to turn your head and your upper torso turns ever so slightly while we're stabilizing our feet forward. And then we're going to allow our eyes to look way back over our left shoulder as though there were somebody behind us that we could possibly see. And then we're going to come back to center. And then I want you to close your eyes and just gently shake out your feet. You could open up your eyes too when you do this. You don't have to keep them closed. Just gently shake out your feet a little bit because we've been standing a while. And then I want you to resettle yourself back into standing posture, remembering to soften the knees, abdomen soft, spine erect, hands down at your sides, jaw soft, loosen that tongue if it's tightly pressed into the roof of the mouth. Close your eyes gently. And I want you to just follow your breath. Just follow your breath in this standing mountain pose. Follow the flow of breath as you inhale and you exhale. And whenever you're distracted by a thought or a body sensation, come right back to following your breath. And we're going to do this in silence for just a minute. So just a gentle reminder that meditation can be done seated in a chair, standing, walking, or lying down. And one of these days, I'll actually do the walking meditation so that you can see how that's done, which is a very, very simple meditation. We do that with our eyes open. So I'll do that. Maybe next time we'll do the walking meditation so that you have a chance to experience that. So I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoy teaching everybody about mindfulness. Just a quick reminder, there is an introductory program that is on the BCTV site that introduces myself and a little bit about mindfulness. You're welcome to watch that at any time, but it's not necessary. You can always dive into any of the programs, any of the classes that I teach, just by tuning into the TV show yourself and noticing what you feel as you're feeling it. So I thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that this opened up a little bit more to you about the ways that we can practice mindfulness and meditation without always having to be seated. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Bye-bye.